What up, YouTube? It's your boy Penny LS1 checking in. I'll give y'all a quick update. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't say thank you enough to my loyal followers. You guys have outdone yourself, but I just wanted to give y'all a quick update. Y'all been watching me. Y'all seen what I've been up to. I've been driving this thing, right? I put some miles on it. I put these gauges in, the Dakota digital gauges. I put those in, I think it was last summer. I didn't start driving it until right before December. So right after Thanksgiving is when I installed this eye booster, and that's when I started driving it. It may have been a little bit right before Christmas because I started really driving it in January. So I've got 126 miles on it. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but it is for a car that you don't drive every day. But yeah, and then I met my neighbor down the street. Y'all been seeing the 84 Monte Carlo, my buddy Colin. So I've been helping him. He's been helping me. We've been swapping parts. He needs something I got something he needs, vice versa. We kind of help each other out. And we've made many trips to Summit as well to get stuff. So AC hooked up, blowing cold. I'm gonna pop the hood in a minute and give you an overview of the AC. So I finally got it working the way that I wanted it to work and how I think it should work as far as the trinary switch, binary switch, all that good jazz. We got Colin's AC hooked up and working as well. We got it to blow about 48 degrees, and that was because we couldn't get the vents to open properly. So we're waiting on that vacuum. I call it a diaphragm, but it's like a vacuum module or whatever that goes on the back of the switches that controls the vacuum when you change it from max, normal, vent, bi-level. It turns like that and it changes the vacuum points. Something's going on with his because the doors aren't moving when we change it. We tested the doors with the actuators that's on the box, that they do work. So assuming, and then he told me you can hear the air leaking from the back of the switches because I told him to take it out. So with the car running and the vacuum pulling, you can hear it leaking. So it's more than likely that. So as soon as that comes in, I'll get that installed and we'll go ahead run the AC again and see how cold we get it. Another issue we are having with his is his belt. For some reason, the belt keeps jumping off. Don't know if it's a problem with the compressor. Everything is new, but he swapped out belts like 3 times with three different sizes, trying to get it to fit, as tight as possible without being too tight. And it just keeps, when you turn the air conditioner on, you can see the pulley, the tensioner pulley kind of goes like that, and it pulls that belt off just a little bit off the edge of that pulley. And if you're revving it or if you're driving fast, eventually it'll slip. The first belt actually cut. I think I put that in my last video. It cut like the one rib. It's a 6-rib belt. It cut one rib all the way around. So we're working on getting that figured out, but it does work as far as we replaced the condenser. Well, we put a new condenser in there, the Cutlass condenser. We put a new evaporator core, new heater core. I had to do some fiberglass repair work on the box. Now I know I didn't show detailed step by step how I did that fiberglass work. I didn't think that was, I don't know, I didn't think y'all wanted to see that. It's just laying fiberglass. If you've ever seen fiberglass laid, it's pretty straightforward. Now I did have somebody mention that they wanted to see me, because I kind of did an indentation so that the head or the valve cover and the coil bracket were clear. All I did was when it started to harden, it's still kind of soft, you can just push it in, and then once it dries, it's going to keep that form. That's all I did to get that little indentation so that it would clear the valve cover. I did the same thing on miniskirt, but I didn't record that at all. I did that a couple years ago. So let me pop the hood. Let me show y'all. I'm gonna start the car up. I'm gonna bag it up a little bit so I can have some more room up front. But I want y'all to see the AC blowing. And the car's been cold. I ran it about, what time is it? It's about 6 o'clock. It's about 11 o'clock this morning I had it running. So it's cold, so it'll probably take some time to get up to temp before the fans will kick on. But I want y'all to see how the fan is gonna trigger on and off with the trinary switch with the AC on. So let me get the garage door up. I'm gonna start the car and bag it up, then I'll pop the hood and show y'all. All right, so let me first show y'all the temp, the engine temp, and I'm gonna turn the air on while I'm in here. So you can see the coolant temp right now is 123. So let's go ahead and turn the air on. Trying to make sure the radio's down. So I like to put it on medium high. I put it on normal. It's cold, normal, medium high. You can see the temp still at 129, so the fans are not gonna cut on, but I want you to see something. See that? Fan just cut on. Hold on, let me get something to show you. Hold on, y'all. See that? It should cut off in a second. See that? It cut off. Watch it gonna cut back on. Once the condenser builds up pressure, it's getting hot, and it'll cut back on. See that? That's how the fans work with the Trinary switch. So I just wanted to show y'all that if y'all saw that. But that's how the fans work with the Trinary switch. It's kind of like an intermittent deal, and it's based off pressure on the switch or in the line. And that pressure is basically the hot liquid coming out of the condenser going into the dryer. So let me turn the car off and I'm gonna kind of explain it to you a little bit better. And also just to show you, the car is only at 153. The fans are blowing right now. See that? 154. So turn this off. And the fans actually cut off. So I'm gonna give y'all, so y'all can hear me a little bit better, a better explanation of what I was just talking about. All right, so just to show you that it was blowing cold, just that quick. So basically what I was saying was, so here's my Trinary switch. I know I've made a couple of videos on this. I've redone it a couple of times because I couldn't get it to work. I think I was just impatient, but see, this line is ice cold. So this line cold. This line right here is like, it's warm. Yeah, it's actually hot. So that hot liquid coming through here is that's what this sensor, that's the pressure that's creating this sensor to trigger. So quick overview for those who haven't seen and that keep asking me questions. So it's LS swap, and I'm running factory style AC. How I got mine set up, because on the factory 305 with the factory accessory drive, the AC compressor is mounted on the driver's side. It would have been over there. And the factory lines from the Monte Carlo go all the way across the fan shroud, and there's another one that goes across the engine right there to connect to the compressor. So I wanted mine all on this side since the AC box is here. The Cutlass, for some reason, 1986 Cutlass Supreme, and maybe some other ones. I haven't even looked at the Regal. But I know the Cutlass for sure has their AC on this side, the Cutlass. So what I did was I ordered a Cutlass condenser. That way I have my fittings right here for the condenser. And I ordered a Cutlass suction and liquid line, which is what this is right here. The only line I couldn't buy was this line here. For some reason I couldn't find it anywhere. So I ended up making my own. So that's the setup as far as the condenser, the lines. The compressor is an AC Delco part. I'm running a Holley high mount accessory drive bracket kit. So the brackets are Holley, but everything is stock except for the power steering. So the alternator is stock from the Camaro that I got the engine out of. This compressor is basically a stock. Well, it's an AC Delco part, but it's a R4, obviously. So how I've got it hooked up, aside from the lines, on the factory setup, you have this binary switch. The binary switch is a low side switch. All it needs is 30 psi of pressure to close the switch and send power to the compressor. 30 psi, that's all it needs. So This green wire right here, this light green wire is coming from inside of the car. It's on the AC switches on the dash. This is the switch. This is the wire that gets 12 volts when you turn AC on. It gets 12 volts. That 12 volts goes into this pigtail. It connects to one side on the switch, and then it comes out on the other side. But it's a switch, so it comes in, but there's no power connecting it to go out until the switch gets pressure. It closes the switch, and then it sends. Where's the other one at? Okay, so this is actually the wire. It's the same wire, but this light green right here is coming in, going all the way up here, and it's in here. I got it in here somehow. Oh, okay, no, I'm right. So the light green wire, but then it sends power out through the dark green wire. So that dark green wire is what I have going to the compressor. Okay, so power comes in on the light green, comes into the switch closes, it sends out that 12 volts to this dark green wire. Now I have it going to the compressor, but I actually have it intercepted by this. If you see this plug right here, it's actually going into the trinary switch. So it goes from the binary switch, which is on my low side. What's the purpose of that? If your system somehow gets low, let's say you have a leak, you start leaking Freon, it's not going to build up pressure, right? It still may build it up, but if it gets below 30 psi, it's not going to turn on the compressor, because you don't want the compressor to turn on if there's no Freon in the system. That's what the low side switch does. The high side does the same thing, this trinary, except it does it on the high pressure side, meaning if it gets too much pressure, it'll shut off. So basically the signal is going to come from here first, then go into this switch. If this switch is closed with the proper pressure, it sends the signal on to the compressor right here, and it'll turn the clutch. In addition to that, the trinary switch also, if you see those blue wires on the trinary switch, once it senses the proper pressure, it'll keep the signal going to the compressor, and also it'll send the signal that I have it set the way I have it set up going to my fan controller to kick the fans on. So it'll turn the compressor on at the same PSI as this one, but it'll cut it off. I believe it's 400 something PSI. So it'll still cut it on even if the pressure, just like y'all saw a few minutes ago when I had the car running, the fans cut on and they cut off. That's this side of the switch. That's the 245 PSI or 254 coming on this side. Once it senses that, it's going to close that circuit, send signal to the fan controller, turn the fans on. When those fans kick on, it's going to cool down the condenser. It'll cool down the condenser. When the condenser cools down, the pressure drops. When the pressure drops, the switch opens up, cuts off the fan. It does that intermittent. So it just depends on if you're driving, depends on how fast you're driving, how much airflow is going through the grill, through the condenser and radiator, right? That's what that switch is doing. So I do have it hooked up properly. I had it hooked up properly. The only time I didn't have it hooked up properly is when I put the trinary switch on the low side from the beginning. The switch would have never cut on, because this low side is never going to get 254 PSI. If it does, it's going to cut off anyway. At least that switch would. So it never was going to get up that high using the trinary switch. So that's how my AC is set up. Have any questions? You guys have been asking me anyway, so go ahead and hit me up. Now, when I put the thermometer in the vent, the air blowing through the vent, it's got as cold as 39 degrees. We got Collins blowing about 48 degrees, I believe. So we got some work to do on his. He said he might need to put another can, but he ran into that belt slipping off, so he stopped when he saw the belt slipping off. So we'll get his charged up to the proper pressure and see if we can get it. But 48 degrees is still decent because we're in Texas. Hell, it's 100 degrees. It's going to be 100-degree days this summer. So if you got 48 degrees blowing inside your car, you're still winning. So that's that on that. So that's that on the air conditioning. Like I say, hit me up on Instagram if you have any questions. Drop a comment down below if you have any questions. I'll try to answer everyone. And I will encourage everybody to go watch the previous videos that I've done. I've done probably 4 or 5 videos now on this AC setup. And I finally got it to where I can literally get in it, drive it, turn the AC on, and roll. So we did go to Cars and Coffees. So we did go to Cars and Coffee. We missed the last. Well, we didn't go to the last two previous ones due to weather. So they probably didn't have it anyway. It rained last week, and then the week before that, it looked like it was gonna rain, or it rained earlier that day. We typically leave. We typically head out about between 4:30 and 5:30 to go to the meet. It's just a little local Cars and Coffees. It's a bunch of old heads with a bunch of old school cars. Most of them aren't even LS swap, so it's a lot of old school original cars that are dope. We did see a 32 Ford this past Friday that had an LS swap in it, and it was nice. It was real nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this out there. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you're interested in going to this Cars and Coffee, message me directly on Instagram. I'll give you the location. All that I ask, because they don't promote this like we would. You know, I'm not a YN, if anybody's wondering. You can see the gray in my beard. I'm almost Unc/OG, right? But these are some old heads. So if you come out to this Cars and Coffee, I'm gonna ask y'all to keep all the BS. Leave that at the crib, bro, for real. It's a nice little setup. It's not a packed deal. There's no showboating, no burnouts, no revving. You can have your engine running. You can rev it a couple times, but ain't no loud pipe crackling, snack, crackle, pop, all that nonsense. You can have your music playing as well, because it's outdoors. It's outdoors. It's outdoors. So there's not a noise limit, but what I'm telling you is, don't come up there and be doing donuts in the parking lot. They ain't gonna tolerate that. I'm telling you right now. And that's part of the reason that I believe that they don't promote it, because they don't want these, I don't even want to say it, but they don't want you SRT boys coming up there fucking shit up. All right, I'm gonna put it out there. There, I said it. So if you got an SRT, you can come, but just be on your best behavior. So hit me up on IG at PennyLS1. It's every Friday. Starts around 4:30-ish. We usually leave the house about 5. We're not too far from it, so we get there about 5:30. And it's pretty much till sundown. Like, literally, we left the other day. Today's Monday. We went Friday. We left about 8 o'clock. So we was there from like 5. We got there about 5:30. So we were there from between 5:30 and we left at 8. Nice. And it's in the area where there's restaurants. So there's food, there's shopping. There's public restrooms inside some of those places. So if you come, you can just bring your lawn chairs. Bring your cooler, if you want to, and just chill out, have a good time, socialize with some of the older heads, get some knowledge, stuff that y'all be asking me. Y'all can ask some of these cats because they got more knowledge than I do. All right, now back to what I've been up to on miniskirt. So I'm gonna show y'all my trunk. I'm working on the stereo. Y'all saw the install of the retro sound. I went ahead and put the subs in this box that I built like 3 years ago. Some of y'all remember when I built this. And so what we got? 3 scars, right? No, we got 2. The one in the middle is blown. Well, no, it's not even blown. I think I broke the connector on the voice coil, or on the terminal. Anyway, but I've only got the 2 outside ones wired up. The reason I did it like that is because that center speaker needs to be repaired so that it plays, but also that one in the middle is a different woofer than the 2 on the outside. The one in the middle is a VD, which is the shallow mount scar woofer. So this box was built for 3 of those. Those only took like less than a half of I forgot what it was, because the box I built for 3 of them, so the box is a little over 2 cubic feet. So 3 of those would have performed optimally in this box. However, the 2 on the outside are SDR tins, and they require 1 cubic foot each. So I couldn't run 3 of those in there. Otherwise, I would have just bought a 3rd one and stuffed it in there. So it's wired in a parallel series. These are dual 4 ohm. So parallel series gives me a 1 ohm to the amp. So this amp is an audio control Epic 1000. This amp runs, let's see, it was 400 watts at 4 ohm, 750 watts at 2 ohm, and 1000 watts RMS. These are all RMS numbers 1,000 watts at 1 ohm. So that's how I have it set up right now. Excuse the wiring. I put it in here. I wouldn't say just to test it, but I need to get some bigger speaker wire. This amp does take 10 gauge speaker wire. I didn't have any on hand, so I was using, I think I have 16 gauge inside the, no, I think I ran all 12 gauge. I did run all 12 gauge. So I'll rewire it once I get some wire in. And also I need to get some bigger ground wire. So I'm gonna run, it takes 4 gauge ground wire into the amp, and it takes 4 gauge power wire. So I've got that 1/0 coming from the battery into that distribution block, and then I've got a 4 gauge coming off the distribution block into the amp. This amp requires a 100 amp fuse. 100 amp. That yellow fuse is a 100 amp fuse. I don't know if you can see it right there, but it's a 100 amp. So it has no fuses on the amp, for the amp. The only fuse it has is this one right here, and that's a 10 amp fuse for if you have an epicenter, you can plug the epicenter directly into this. It came with a cable that you plug into here, and then you plug right into the epicenter. This fuse is for the power on the epicenter. So I'll be getting that here shortly. I'm gonna clean this up. I'm actually gonna make a fiberglass panel to go in this side of the quarter panel, and this amp board is gonna be over there. So that way I can still have full access to my floor and throw a cooler in here, throw some lawn chairs in there for when we go to the cars and coffee meet. So this is how I'm gonna run it for now. It sounds phenomenal. I'll put another clip. I'll put that clip in here that I used last time when I was tuning it. You can see the excursion on these woofers. I mean, they excurge, if that's a word. And I used a 40 hertz test tone to tune it, and that sucker had the speakers moving, man, moving some air. So that's what's in the trunk. Inside, I've got that retro sound stereo. I'm still working on this bread box. If you haven't seen it, I did a fiberglass mold of this bread box. As you can see, my computer is actually behind the bread box. That's why I want the bread box. So I got to redo this bracket because I glued it on here, but I glued it on the wrong angle, so that's screwed up. But the idea is to, once I get that fabricated the way I want it, I'm gonna body work it, put filler on it, smooth it out, and then paint it interior color to match. So that's gonna hide the LS computer. And there's the retro sound stereo. This fuse box over here, this is off the computer. I'm gonna mount that under the dash. Under the glove box. I just haven't done it yet because I'm still working on this panel. So I didn't want to permanently mount anything until I got this situated. And then I also have a bass knob that's coming off the amplifier. So I'm gonna end up having two, because this is for the amplifier, and then once I put the epicenter in here, I'll have a second one. The only thing I don't like about this one, you can't flush mount it. Yeah, it sucks. Actually, yeah, because this doesn't come off. You could take this casing off, but it's not like the old school ones where it was just a little bitty piece. I do have the actual knob for my original epicenter, but the cord, they changed the cord. The cord on this amp is Cat 5, and the old ones were, I think, Cat 3 or 4. It's the skinnier one, so it won't work. Otherwise, I was gonna flush mount that button up here somewhere for the bass knob. So, but we'll get the button, we'll get it flush mounted once I get the epicenter, and we'll get that cleaned up. What I'm finna get ready to do now, I've been driving the car, testing out because I never really adjusted the suspension. I mean, it's the suspension. I mean, I've got the ride height kind of how I want it. I might raise the front up just a tad bit, only because the other day I bottomed out the spoiler. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. I hit a dip and I heard that mud go. I don't know where it was though. And yes, I do got some leaks, just like y'all do. Now I think I need to check. Yeah, it's like right here. It's right here at the bottom of this. So I'm gonna raise the front up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know if I'm gonna do that now because I gotta take the wheels off. Well, I don't have to take the wheels off, but it'll be easier. But what I'm finna do is adjust the coilovers, the comfort and go for a test drive. So right now I have it, I want to say 3 clicks in the rear and 4 in the front. So I'm gonna download the QA1 specs on this and see what the best adjustments are gonna be. It rides soft, but like I say, I bottomed out. So because it's low in the front and I've got it super soft in the front, it basically boom. So I'm gonna try to firm it up a little bit. I don't want it too firm because I don't want it riding crazy, although the spec says tighten it up for a better ride and better handling. Go figure. So let me do some adjustment on these coilovers, and then I'm gonna go for a drive here and we'll see what we like. Before I do that real quick, I talked about the trunk. I didn't talk about the inside. So I do have kicker dash speakers. These are 2 3/4 mid drivers. I didn't get the 3.5 because I wanted mid drivers that didn't have a tweeter on it. So 2 3/4. I'm running a 3-way setup up front. 2 3/4 in the dash. I'm running these components, these 2 right here. I'm gonna get the door panels with the 2 speaker pods in there, and then I'm running these tweeters right here. We're gonna mount those in the door as well. I think I mentioned that before, but I'll show you again because I'm sure somebody gonna ask. So the tweeter will be mounted somewhere right here. So this is the mount, this is the ring right here. So we're gonna put the tweeters right there, put the 6.5s right there, and everything's gonna be ran, wire's gonna be ran to the back because I'm gonna run those on the amp, 4-channel amp. So we'll have 6.5s in the door, tweeters in the door, mid drivers in the dash. So these are basically little subwoofers. And then I'm debating on whether or not I'm gonna put these in the rear quarter. These will go, let me move some of this stuff. If y'all saw the video with my buddy's 84, he put 5 1/4, but I'm putting 6.5. They're gonna go in this panel right here. So instead of having this, I'm gonna buy the pod that goes in here, and it's got the cutout for the speaker. Only thing is I might not be able to use those because they're deep and there's not a lot of space behind there, even though the pods only come out like this far. So they do sell the speakers that are made for that pod to fit in the car, so you don't have to cut. They're very shallow. I believe they're a retro sound speaker. So I may just get those because I know these won't fit. I know for a fact those won't fit. They'll fit in a cutout in a circle, but in Collins we had to cut a hole in the side of the car, in the interior panel or interior metal, sheet metal. That we cut a 4.5-inch hole, and then we had to pie cut it and fold the metal back in order to get the magnet to go in. I don't know if I want to do that on mine. So, but stay tuned for that. So all that's the top 2 are going in. These aren't going in. I'm gonna make a garage party speaker with those 2, and I'll probably get a 8-inch woofer and build a garage set up with that using that battery. I may or may not put that EQ in there. This is an old Crossfire EQ that I had back in the day. I had this in my first car back when I was in high school, a long time ago. A long time ago. Like I said, I told you I ain't no YN. I may not be that old, but I ain't that young by far. But anyway, let me put this on the tripod. I'm gonna go ahead and get under here. I'm gonna do the back. I'm gonna download this tech sheet from QA1, find out what the best settings are gonna be for. I'm trying to go for decent ride quality, but with good handling. So it's probably gonna be a little bit firmer than I already have it. But since I'm driving the car a lot more now, the springs have already settled, so I should be able to tell the difference. So I'm gonna do that here, then we'll go for a drive in a little bit. I don't know, y'all. I don't like, something ain't right still. It's still going. It's still going. Bup, 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 bup. So that fuel pressure was an issue with the pump, but it ain't an issue with the acceleration. So I'm about to get that tuned out or figured out, because see if y'all can hear it again. Watch this. It's shifting. It's just at low RPM. It bup, 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 bup. Like I'm trying to spin the tires. That's what I'm trying to do with no brake, all gas, no brake. It's not. I know it's hooking, but I don't know. I don't think that's the reason why it's going bup, 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 bup. Because I got enough power to spin these tires, even though they got good grip. I'm gonna let the window up. So that's what I've been trying to figure out. So I got the back set on 8 clicks firm, and the front is on 6. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. At least not on this smooth road. Let's see. Okay, y'all heard that. It goes, but sometimes at low RPM in first and second gear, it won't do that. I was already in 4th gear, so it had to drop a gear to do that, and that's what it's supposed to do. But I can't do that in 1st and 2nd gear is what I'm trying to explain to y'all. So my next thing I'm gonna do, the next money I'm spending on this car is gonna be finally go get the front end alignment. See, I'm trying to do it from here, look. Okay, it did it that time. But so the next thing I'm gonna do is get my front end alignment, and then I'm gonna go ahead and call up the homie Gomez, who does the tuning for us. We'll go ahead and get a street tune. He does have a shop where he do dyno tune, but I'm just gonna get a street tune because I really want to I want drivability. I guess I could do both, do the dyno tune and then do a street tune. Yeah, see, it's doing it right there. Like, I can't full throttle it. I can only 3/4 throttle it. I'm trying to go straight to the flow. Let me turn y'all off real quick. Hold on. All right, y'all, we back. I don't know. I definitely need to get a tune, but I think the way I got this thing set up, I got so much grip. I don't know. I don't want to use that as an excuse, because this 5.7 should spin the tires. But yeah, I just passed by SRT boy. Speaking of SRT boys, well, that was he looked like a Gen Xer, so I wouldn't call him SRT boy, but he got a Challenger in his garage, the new one, not the old school, but. Oh, you got one in the driveway. All right, let me go and get back to the crib. But actually, I was just looking at the mileage. I think I said I put 126. It's actually at 100, and I just hit 180. It was 176 before I pulled off just earlier. So we're already at 180 miles on the gauges. So we're putting some good mileage on it. Definitely gonna put more than 500 on it this summer. So I did that in the last month, and I just started driving it. So yeah. Anyway, let me get back to the crib and I'll holler at y'all in a minute. All right, so like I was saying, I put 180 miles on the car. Water right now is at 199, and trans temp is 172, 111 intake temp. And for those who don't know, I put on the highway a couple of days ago. High speed, 107, no issues whatsoever. Took it to Mexico for that. All right, I just wanted to show y'all the fuel pressure gauge. So I did change that fuel pump. So now we are, where my flashlight at? Now we are holding, it's been off for about 5 minutes already, and it's still holding at 50 PSI. So I knew something was wrong with something the other couple days ago when that gauge was just dropping to zero. So I turn the key on, it'll prime, and then it'll automatically drop. So we got the fuel situation squared away. I did replace the pump. Here's the pump that came out of there. So I replaced the pump and this little sock deal. Now what I think happened, obviously it was the check valve, but I think when they put this pump in, let me find the piece that came off. The check valve is actually in this broke off piece right here. Hold on, let me mute this TV. The check valve is actually in here. And this doesn't look like, it's got a little nipple on there. So it was on here like this. That just didn't look right. And then it was inside of this, the hose or tube that went onto the actual hat of the fuel pump or the fuel unit, sending unit. So I don't know, because when I pulled this off, actually, when I pulled this off of here, this piece came off the pump. And the new pump, this check valve is inside of here. And it's just like this. There's no extra piece on there. So I don't know if they rigged this up. I have no idea. I have no idea. Like I said, I wasn't driving the car that much. So I wasn't driving the car that much. So I had no idea how it ran or how it was supposed to run until recently. Since I've been driving it, every day I've been pulling it out, taking it around the block. And then I've been, going to the Cars and Coffee meet. I drove up there twice so far. And then I've been driving it on the freeway for the last few days. Like I just showed y'all my high speed. I took it to Mexico. We got it up to 107. And prior to that, I think I got it up to like 90, 91. So that's the most I'm gonna do. 107 was nice and smooth. I mean, that sucker was shifting like a god dang. Because I was cruising at like 75. So I was already in fourth gear in overdrive. And then I just put it to the flow. It dropped, it downshifted and shifted back up. And next thing I know, 107. That sucker was riding so smooth, no vibrations, no shimmies, no shakes. And then somebody said that that the car starts to lift at like 110 or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not going for top speed. I just wanted to see if I can get it up to triple digits. And like I say, because I did install the suspension. I put the coilovers on front and rear, and I replaced the front upper and lower control arms. Excuse me. I replaced the front upper and lower control arms, as well as the whole steering linkage. So all that stuff is new, and it was installed by me, torque to spec. So I wanted to test out and make sure I had everything copacetic with no issues. So nothing fell off, nothing got loose. So now it's time to go ahead and get this front end alignment. Like I said, I played with the alignment myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't be going 107. So the alignment is good enough. It's just the wheel is off center. So I'll get it professionally aligned, and then we'll get the street tune done, and then we can go from there. So that's what's going on. Finish this up. AC squared away. Fuel pump replaced. We got the part coming in for my buddy's AC system, so hopefully we can get his doors opening and closing like they're supposed to for when he changes settings on the air conditioning. And hopefully we'll be able to go. I know I'm driving mine Friday. I got a busy day Friday. I'm off. I took off work. My daughter graduates from early college this Friday, and then her high school graduation is next Sunday, which is the day before Memorial Day, I believe. So not this Sunday, but the Sunday after that, she graduates from high school. But this Friday coming up, today is Monday. This Friday coming up, she graduates from college, early college. And then we'll get her squared away so she can go on off to college in the fall. So, but I think I'll have time because that graduation, it's an early graduation. It's like at 1 o'clock, I believe. And she's got plans. She's got party plans to go out with her friends afterwards. So she can do her thing, and I'm gonna go ahead and drive mini skirt to Cars and Coffee Friday night. So I should be free to do that. So I want to show y'all the difference in brake pads. Look at this front wheel. Let me show you real quick. Look at the wheel. All right. Now look at the back wheel. Look at it. You see that? Look at the front wheel again. It's got some on there, but nowhere near as much as the rear. I can't remember what brake pads I put on the front, on the rear. The front are AC Delco pads. So clearly these pads are better than those pads. Now these are Corvette pads on the front and Blazer pads on the rear. So that's my brake setup. C5 Corvette brakes up front. Got the Blazer rear disc conversion out back. But I can't remember what pads I got. But you see how much brake dust on there. So I need to clean that for it so I don't etch the wheel. So man, yeah, so that's gonna, hold on, let me take this off. I put this on because I was under the car. So, but that's gonna do it for this video, man. Thank you once again for rocking with your boy. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell so you're notified when I'm dropping the next video. Check me out on TikTok and Instagram at PennyLS1. And if you're interested in going to this Cars and Coffee, if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, particularly in the Arlington, Mansfield, Fort Worth, because it's on the Mansfield, Fort Worth side, send me a DM on IG. I'll give you the information. But like I say, man, if y'all show up, man, ain't no showing out, man. Trust me, we ain't gonna deal with it. So if you come, just park your car, pop your hood. You can have your music on if you want to, not too loud, but no revving, no burnouts, no donuts. PennyLS1, holla at your boy.